Good evening and welcome to the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck E Series once again on our screens on the LRE Sports Network on a Tuesday night. Round 6 sees us at Michigan International Speedway. It is played or raced, I may add, as a super speedway. Tyres not much on the brains of many drivers here tonight. Fuel is, strategy is, caution periods certainly are. Peter Gretton here in commentary. No Jai Schultz. A massive happy birthday for Jai Schultz. He's out spending time with friends and family as he turns his race number 27. 27th Jai. Hopefully you're not tuning into this because, well, if you were, then the party you're at or the get-together you're at, well, wouldn't be much chop. We're here at Michigan. We're here with a full field of NASCAR trucks here. There's about 38 drivers. Shout out to Skypoynt Oval Series for getting us here week in, week out. And definitely a massive shout out to Skypoynt jumping on board title naming rights for this series, Skypoynt. And don't forget, the Royal Triple Crown is also sponsored from our title sponsor, and $1,000 up for grabs. Daytona, Talladega, your best in points in them, and you take out the series, that's $1,000 richer thanks to Skypoynt. Michael Skurlock leads the series. Dave Douglas, Andy Barber, Steve Williams and Darren McKenzie in the fight for second and third in the championship in the series, as listed in the far right column. Dave Douglas and Andy Barber, 456 and 455. And we're here at Michigan. Next week at Charlotte. The week after that we go back to Daytona. So then those standings and those legs of the Royal Triple Crown will come back into play. Few rounds, super speedway rounds to look forward to. 1K up for grabs at the moment. It's anyone's. But round 6 of this series. Michigan, we're here in qualifying. There's not much to do here in qualifying. There's about 4 laps each. It's a lone qualifying session. The guys are out on track now, so let's have a look and let's see who's doing what as qualifying session is well underway here at Michigan. So tuning in, my mic's a little bit low again, which is odd. I turned the mic up a little bit in the settings and it went down on stream. No idea. I just turned it up. It's maxed out everywhere, so let's have a crack at that. Lone quali, Jason Holdsworth on pole, 39.07 as we stand at the moment. We've got Gosley still on a lap, Mortensen still on a lap, but 39.07, so 39 is what we're looking for. As there's some crashing noises in the background, and gives a shout out what the audio's like as we move in and get going here. I've just turned my mic up. The game sound is just all but dissipated with cars finishing their laps off. Nigel Patton, Pinnacle Esports, currently sitting 6th on the standing car, number 90. I'm going to stop correcting myself because I keep saying car. But it is what it is. They're cars, they're trucks, they're motor racing. We're having a race. Michael Skurlock, look out for this car. You can't miss it. It's got every colour in the rainbow. It'll be out in front. It looks like an engine expiration for Skurlock through that qualifying period. Definitely pushing. Lots of smoke. He may have just put the brake down, just pulling that up. And that's what that smoke was about. Holdsworth, 39.7, still yet to be beaten. 39.27, 39.28, 39.29, 30. That's how close the top 5 is. 39.35. Patton and Dave Douglas, they shared the exact same time in qualifying. This is right on board with Andy Barber. Barber, number 5, Southern Skypoynt entry, moves his way, and he now shares 39.30 time with Mortensen as well. They'll be talking about that in the Discord. Holdsworth still though 39.07, some 200 quicker than the rest of this field as we ride on board with Reese May. He can steer this, gets a little bit loose, gets up to the wall in I think 2, 3 or 3 and 4 rather. Tyres, well, that's not going to be an issue here tonight. Stay green for long periods, which we've seen in the latter stages of the races, as we've been the last 5 rounds. Anyway, that's been a little bit stop-start, or has been known to be a little bit stop-start, but we've gone long green runs. Have they taken anything off that? Meaning the riders, have they taken anything out of that? Have they researched it? Have they tweaked their plans? So pretty much what the series is done, and I think that's a given. I think most teams would have, as we go into the race session. So qualifying's done and dusted. Round 6 of the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series. Qualifying, Holdsworth got pole position for this one. 90 laps, open setup for these trucks. So you bring what you can and see what you can do. Strategies up to you and your teammates. Jason Holdsworth though, he's been strong in this series, hasn't he, since day dot, and well, he leads the or he will lead them to green as we go through our grid here for tonight. Round 6 of the Skypoynt NASCAR series here at Michigan International Speedway. Jason Holdsworth, as I've just mentioned, 39.074. That was the exact time he, or no one else rather, could beat that time. So you'll see him on pole position. NASCAR truck there ready to lead him away to green. Trent Gosley, good time. 2/10 off him though. He will have the front row with Derek Jacobs and Maxie Marshall shadowing them for row number 2. Troy Mortensen and Andy Barber, really good qualifying for Troy Mortensen, 0.2 off the pace there, and Andy Barber 0.231, so only 2 thousandths in between those two times. Cusack and Patton, Dave Douglas and Jason Wolf, they'll be the top 10 and top 5 rows of this race here tonight. 90 laps here at Michigan International Speedway. Skurlock and Reese May will have the 6th row of this field, 11th and 12th position. 13th, Blackburn and Mello, Adam Malone and Tom Pritchard to the Stars and Skypoynt entries. Craig Roffey and Eric Fenson, Darren McKenzie and Henry Fenson will round out the top 20. A couple of Fensons in there, starting close to each other in the field. Aiden Schulz and Waterson will be 21st and 22nd. Guy Turner and Sebastian Varndell, 23rd and 24th. We'll go over as well. We've got close to 40 trucks here tonight. Tony Roffey, one of the Roffeys there in 25th. Chris Tomlin, Kim Roffey, Adam Tice, Michael Cedar, Bruns, Brett Campbell, Luke Kenny, Steve Williams, Peter Bosens, Dylan O'Shea, Andrew Dyson. There's a couple of names down there in 35th and 36th that you don't really see there as well, do we? Tristan Koch and Riley Kirk will round out this 38 truck field here. Round 6 of the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series. Well, the time for planning and the time for practice, well, that's all but over. Holdsworth Nitro Racing will lead us in green in just a couple. Gosley, Derek Jacobs from America in the 3rd position there as well. I'm not so sure what time it is. 100% correct. Jacobs and Marshall. Okay. Tripp and Pete. tripping. Okay, I thought that I read out a different grid, so that's entirely my fault. Holdsworth, Gosley, Jacobs, Marshall, down the front two. Nitro Racing deciding, well, I want to start out front. I want to stay out in front, and let's see what we can do here tonight. Draft is key, somewhat like super speedway driving. We'll see here tonight. Pack racing. Green pit stops. Bugger all yellows. I think that's what we're all hoping for. Geico restarts are in play. NASCAR trucks at its best here, Michigan, USA. Three and a half kilometres around here, and they're doing it in some 51 seconds. Will they be able to maintain that in race pace? 90 laps here. Round 6, championship heating up. Royal Triple Crown, $1,000 up for grabs if you take out Daytona rounds, Talladega rounds, and the series. I'm sure it's possible. I'm sure one of these drivers can do it. Got the mega ball up, and we can cross to the drivers and see what they can do, see what they can say in the heat of the battle. Lights are out. Pace truck is about to get off the track and about to lead these guys to racing. We will use the Geico restart zone for the restart, the race restart. We're in the restart zone. Holdsworth goes and Jacobs goes with him. Good start. Lap 1 and 90. Skypoynt NASCAR truck E-Series here at Michigan. We go green. Good restart. They keep together. They stay together. You see Rocky, a yellow and black livery a little bit further back. He wants to have a go. It looks like the high line is working for wide. Down the back, Andy Barber involved in that. Nigel Patton, Reese May. They fan out. Have a look at these NASCAR trucks here. Around Michigan for the first time tonight. 90 laps here, as I mentioned a couple of times. Nice green restart. They're starting to sort each other out. We've got the very close cars. He's playing the patience game. Trucks start to wind up. They start to get into gear. Truck 110 of Fenton. He wants to go on the outside of the 350 of Skurlock. Remember, the higher you go up, the risk of hitting a wall, well, that's on you. And also, the higher you go up, the less tyre wear you use as well. I don't think it's going to be much to play in here tonight. You've got Adam Malone, Tom Pritchard there scoping in the background. You've got McKenzie as well. So Malone, Pritchard, McKenzie, all one for the 110. Stars Esports has got a blinky car. I think that might be the 960 truck of Waterson, but it moves on. We've got Sebastian Vandel in the 4 truck. Oh no! All right, we got to go back because that looked bad from what we've seen, but that was already done. It was already happening by the time that we got around to seeing a little bit different off that. We got a smoky truck. We go on the caution. Lap 3 of 90 here at Michigan. Sebastian Vandel is on 4. Field takes his stop. Let's have a look. Let's go through what happened. Let's try and cut through it. 3 laps, 90 in total. Plenty to do here tonight. Yellow flag goes out. Let's go high in the air though. Should give us a fair look at it. Skypoynt actually replay. Go high in the air. We're looking at Vandel here. It all happened in front of him though. Hopefully the chopper pulls off this and we have a look. Smoky car to your right. Smoky car to your left. 8 or 10 cars involved in that, and some more than others. Happened a little bit further up, so we didn't get a good look at that. McKenzie in the pits, Tomlin's in the pits. Brendan Cusack is in the pits. Lap 4 of 90. First caution here. Gosley, Holdsworth, Jacobs, Marshall, Barber, Patton, Wolf, May, Roffey, and Douglas as your 10. Fastest lap 39.61 by the look of that. 39.62. Wolf and Gosley pretty close times. Gosley is up a couple of positions, or up one position. Put it in second in qualifying. Jumped up to first in the race off the restart. 0-4. So Trent Gosley 0-4, and the other 4 there of parked up, I think. Campbell, Dyson, Turner, Malone, O'Shea, Bosons, Williams, Seidel, Roffey, Blackburn. They're all in the pits after that incident. Very big, a bit busy, I should say, run off pit road. Some with damage, some without. Some just taking the time to get out of the heat. Super Speedway type racing, they tell me. 0-4 leads, Central leads 3. Holdsworth's in there, thereabouts. Derek Jacobs. Good restart from him. Part of the Southern Stars outfit. Level where he qualified. Car 9.9. Maxie Marshall also behind. He's no slouch. You'll see him make all the right moves, or attempt to make all the right decisions throughout this 90-lap race. 5 down though. 85 to go. And the caution for the first time, and presumptions say not the last as we start to form up. Lights on the pace tracker out. Gosley, Holdsworth, Jacob, Marshall there. The first 2 rows you can see. Welcome to all the viewers. LRE Sports YouTube and Facebook channels. Also Skypoynt Racing Leagues on YouTube and Facebook. Facebook 690 for the incidents and the incident review rather. Tune into the Skypoint Leagues Facebook channel. Probably about 20 minutes after we drop the broadcast. Tom and the crew there will talk over the incidents and decisions that happen through race and take their rules and put them in place and apply some penalties if needed. Brent Gosley is just about ready to lead us to green. He's right on board with the 0-4 machine of Gosley and Holdsworth. Let's have a look. Remember, Geico restart zones are in play. You'll see the blue on the road, the blue on the, I think on just below the apron. Nice form up by the boys here as well. Great discipline. Geico restart zone, and we're off. Not 100% in line. I don't believe Trent Gosley. He leads us to green. Probably goes green at around about the same time as he did in the last restart, or what we did rather in the restart. He wants to go around the outside, and Derek Jacobs resumes second position. Gosley, Jacobs, Holdsworth there side by side for second and third. As we go a little bit further back, we've got 3 wide. We've got 2 Andy Barber there. So we almost want to go 3 wide. 503, Jason Wolf rather wants to take us 3 wide as we're going a couple of different lines, a couple of different ways of restarting. Lap 8 and 90. Skypoynt involved in that. We're going to go 3 wide again. We're going to go 3 wide again. Take it down the bottom. Skypoynt. Girl up there waiting. Let's have a look on board, Skurlock. Good view, I think, too. Bradley in front of me, they start to sit around a little bit, side by side. Andy Barkley at the bottom, Roof off the top. Douglas back, Bradley up ahead now as we start to get into some sort of rhythm. Caution number 2. Scott Waterton, I think, was involved in that one. We're looking good up the front anyway. Waterton. He went a little bit off track before this double. Let's go a bit in the air on this. Could have been more to it. Let's go back live. I'll have another deeper dig in what went down. Skypoynt action replay there. Caution, lap 10 of 90. Waterson was somewhat involved. I think something may have happened just a little bit before that because, well, I didn't think that... let's have a look here, ready? Let's have a look. So, gut feeling was correct. He didn't do it himself. It definitely wasn't intentional. It may have been a bump in the corner that it may have went wrong. They may have done it every lap since, and that one just got caught short again. Lap 11 to 96, second caution come out. And the guys at the front, well, they're staying out. Gosley, Jacobs, Marshall. See Holdsworth in the down pit road at the moment. So one of the leaders to make an early stop under caution. 2 sets of tyres over the wall. Tyres probably won't be much of the talk here tonight. It's all about fuel. Get a top up when you can. Little machine of Jason Holdsworth comes out of the pit. Back up with this train of cars though, and it's pretty much status quo, I think, where we started. Truck lights are still on, so we're probably still looking at probably a good lap or a lap and a half of caution period here. When we go live as well, we'll call it to green and sit up with Derek Jacobs' girlfriend up in the stands. Have a look at these NASCAR trucks buzz by. Get a look at that as well as we go to green very shortly. Good look at the finish line. Good look at them page truck lights going out as well. They'll start to form up now. Remember, 2-line restart. Trent Gosley will have inside. Jacobs. He's outside. Maxie Marshall. Dave Douglas. Sounds like a broken record, really, doesn't it? That will check the top 12 drivers. Going to be within 2 car lengths. These rules set by race control, set by the organisers. Stops lagging, so if you can get a good run, stops the cantilever effect as well off the restart. See in most series, top 12 is what they look at. That's why you see the drivers banked up. And you hear it in radio chat as well. Don't forget, guys, top 12, get up there. So, very cooperative. Still got Aidan Troy and Tom Pritchard in. Now, as mentioned, Gosley will lead us to green in the Geico restart. So, truck lengths of each other. Gosley's got control. Restart zone coming up. Gosley leads round 6. Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series back to green. Very late restart. Leaves Marshall and Jacobs napping there a little bit. Marshall goes down. And Dave Douglas, he wants to have a crack in the 10 machine here. He wants to get Jacobs. Jacobs lets him. He's got a good run. He's going to go under the truck 7 of Maxi Marshall. Good restart. Go a little bit further back. Andy Barber, Fenton, Wolf there in the battle. Skurlock, very colourful car of Skurlock. Got a very good view of the restart in the top 5. You got the 503 truck of Jason Wolf. Just brought into the field. He goes to the outside. Unsure. They have a good restart by most. 3-4 wide in the background. They jostle. Lap 14 and 90. Round 6, Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series here at Michigan. The front guys are sorting each other out, and the back are still yet to do it. Trent Gosley leads us to green here. Lap 14 and 90. Side by side, though, Marshall and Jacobs. Let's have a look at these good camera angles. NASCAR 2019 official cameras. Let's crank it up. Nice close racing here at Michigan. Trent Gosley, Maxi Marshall having a good old battle out in front. Who's going to be there? Who's going to be there at the end? Can you get there by yourself? Can you get there by working with a team? What's going to be the strategy? Sit behind. Is it going to be a Daytona strategy? Yes, they were mentioning to me off air. Lap 16 and 90. Good little battle. Derek Jacobs gets checked up there in P3. 99 machine doing strong. Harry Fenson just falls back a little bit. Dave Douglas in the background here. He checks out. He goes down the bottom. We've got a Lincoln car. I think that may be Adam Malone in the green and black Southern Stars. With Lincoln there. Skurlock goes underneath. Barber stays high there as well. So let's have a look at this good battle. Just inside and just outside. That's 17 of 90. Plenty of racing here to go. It's a fuel game. Gosley Marshall up front there, having a good go. Don't forget Steve Williams. He's been up there and thereabouts. Oh no, we got a car around. That's Malone. Into the wall and up. The car 5, or truck 5, I should say. 98's loose into his teammate as well. No. We're going to see another caution. Caution 8, or not caution 18. Caution on at lap 18 of 90. We're just right on board with that. I was looking elsewhere, but we got a good view of it. Adam Malone was involved in that. He was up into the wall, and a later incident as well between teammates. Gets a little bit loose, comes down, sends them both into the infield, a little bit loose. Caution number 3, lap 19 of 90. Gosley, Marshall, Jacobs. They're the names They've kept their nose clean, haven't they? 39.61 best for Gosley and best for the race at the minute. As I say that, I see a 39.43. So 39.43. Look at that, Bruns in the draft. That helps. Pace truck out here again, and let's hope the pace truck doesn't win the amount of laps, or the most held laps, or leading the most laps, I should say. There's one of many bonuses here tonight. Back under yellow again. Third caution of the night. Let's have a look. A couple of cars involved. Steve Williams is the first thing that I'm getting. Let's go back and have a look. Let's have a look here. Steve Williams was the start of many things to happen to bring out this Skypoynt action replay. We're on the caution around about lap 20 here. 90 lap race you're going to see here this evening. Here's what brought out the caution. Skurlock just got around this, got out the mess as well. You'll see, a little bit of a tap there. So, the car there just under the yellow, the truck, I should say. And have a look at this here. So, 98. This is teammates by the look of this. Into each other. This is their secondary action as well, or reaction rather. Definitely no malice. Teammates having come together there. It was good truck control. These NASCAR trucks, well, they can't be easy to control from any stretch of the imagination. Troy Mortensen, he went into pit. May, Roffey, Pritchard, Seidel, and sees under caution again. A very busy pit lane as another busy race off pit road. Gosley is pit. Having a look at him now. Serving that stop under caution. 3 leaders, I think. Gosley, Jacobs, Marshall will come in. Bit of a splash. 20 of 90. I don't think tyres would be used just yet. Let's cast our attention back a few rounds as well. When we were at Pocono, when we were at Phoenix. Early cautions. Third right now here at Michigan, but last few rounds it's been something pretty similar, something we've been accustomed to, early caution periods. And then we've seen very long, very long green runs. Don't think this round is going to be too dissimilar. Pace truck lights are out. We're going to get some green racing next time round. Something that's happening now is, well, get ready for some racing. Get ready for some green pit stops coming in around about 36 laps from now. 36 plus 21 is 57. Let's have a look. See if that comes into it. They will start to form up. Craig Roffey, Trent Gosley. Michael Skurlock just jumped a couple of positions in that little bit of a incident there to bring out the caution, but he's there. He's going to be thereabouts. He's got the second row restart. And the 2 guys that were keeping him company out the front of the race. Sandy Barber there as well. Have stayed in front. Third caution about to come to an end. Pace truck lights are out. Geico restart zones are in place. Roffey, Gosley. Get the jump. There we go. Blue areas. Geico restart zone. We form up. Top 12 will be scrutinised after this race within 2 trucks of each other. Roffey has gone now. He went really early. Did he go early? I did see a little bit of a a balk there. There's the word, a balk. I did see a little bit of a balk there from outrace leader Rothie, but he brings us to green. We're play on. Rothie, Douglas, Skurlock is in there as well. Those guys that were battling before, truck 7, truck 99, Marshall, Jacobs, they're battling again side by side. You've got Andy Barber there, his stalk. Racing. Go a little bit further back, Tom Pritchard, Troy Mortensen, Kai Turner in the heat of the battle. Racing, Rockies back there, up 10 from where he started, goes 3 wide, or almost goes 3 wide. They think about it a little bit clearer. They check out the 2 cars, Williams. Let's talk about the Fensons, Henry Fenson, Eric Fenson having to come together. They're a little bit split. In terms of track. About 18 positions for Luke Kenny. Good introduction to iRacing. Michigan. Truck 27. In front of him by Turner. Behind him, a battle behind him. We've got Nigel Seedham and Robbie battling in front of him, Blackburn and Kenny. Douglas, Goskin, Skurlock, Jacobs, Marshall, Bruns, Barber, Pritchard and Fenson. That's your 10. Aiden Schultz, see us in the comments there. Might have to go back and have a look what happens. I didn't see in the other caution where he did have a bit to do with that. We say green here, 25 of 90. Remember, other periods, other rounds of this series has seen green periods, but not for too long. I've tried Aiden. I have no idea what's going on with this mic at the minute. It seems it's, when I've turned it on, turned it up. Turn our racing down a little bit. Let's see. Brett Campbell's in the comments as well. He's available. He got taken out. That's unfortunate as we ride on board with Luke Kenny starting to move his way through. Tom Pritchard and Skypoynt, as you can see, they're starting to push away. I think Eric Fenson is that truck in front of him, and it is. They're taking the high line. Remember, high line's going to be tyre saving, although not going to be much help. Let's have a look and get some help in here in the chat. We've got a couple of drivers in the green room. And they're not. Jump into the green room, Brett. We'll drag you up as we'll go 27 and 90 here as we ride on board with top 10, just inside the top 10. Fenson, Pritchard, Kenny, mover and shaker of the night. Oh, I just got pipped actually. Luke Kenny up 21. Colin Bruns up 22 positions as he makes up another one there. Up 22 for the 111 machine. Lap 28 of 90. Douglas out the front leads him away. Skurlock right behind. They're working great together, and Skurlock was he had his work cut out for him in terms of trying to stay out of the drama. He had 3 wide in front of him, pulls out of it, and this is where what happens after 3 cautions. He's up there, thereabouts. Derek Jacobs, he was there, thereabouts. Good driving from him as well. One of the Southern Stars entries. He's working with Craig Rothie by the seams in that. Derek Jacobs, 99 machine. Southern Stars machine there, grey and white. Doing a good job. 29 and 90 though. Anything can happen. Aiden Schultz and Brett Campbell now in the
Yep.
podium, so we just jump in because, that's what I like to do, throw people under the bus. Aiden, Brett, we'll start with you first, Brett, but unfortunate, mate, taken out. Talk us through it, Brett. I think I missed it on the broadcast. I might be able to have a look if you want to see it again.
Oh, no, not particularly, mate. That last wreck, everybody, I saw Adam spinning around in front of me on the track, and I slowed down and somebody come up behind me and just drilled me.
No fast repairs. Even if you did have a fast repair, that incident taking you out of the race anyway. But
Mate, I got 30 minutes of required repairs plus one optional, so my race is pretty much done.
In the field, I don't know if you guys have been racing around them. I know, Aiden, you've been privileged to race around Luke Kenny, only new to iRacing. Truck 27 up 25 positions. What's it been like driving around him? And if he's watching the broadcast while driving, some drivers do what's some tips that you'd like to give to Luke as he races through it? Unfortunately, your race is not running the plan.
Well, there's a throw under the bus if I've ever seen one, Pete. Me give tips, I'll tell you what, you're talking to the wrong person. But no, Luke Kenny's doing a great job, mate. New into iRacing, he's had some good results, so good to see a lot more new faces in a platform that just keeps getting stronger and stronger. So it's great, makes it really tough. Anyone from 1st to 40th can win, so good to see some new faces. But don't come to me for advice, mate. I got the number 1 on the truck, but that's a false number 1 there, I reckon.
Yeah, I speak from experience. Don't go to him. He always throws me under the bus.
Oh, well, because you're used to it. What's the hardest bit about getting right, Brett, on this track? It seems to me, just by looking at the track map, I haven't actually done any laps around to watch a pretty good battle there as Truck 6 goes under 27. But to me, looking at the track map, you've got one little bit of a straight and one continuous corner. Is that pretty accurate of Michigan?
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. I mean, Aiden, you can correct me if I'm wrong here. But the hardest bit is it sort of changes every time, like every lap. It's a completely different animal.
Yeah, I'd probably second that. That goes with tyre wear. The trick's being able to keep the tyre wear under. What I found, this is open setup, so it's different, but what I found with my setup is sort of the rears were going to be the first to go before the fronts did, so you could drive it in quite hard, but as the track conditions change and everything will change as well for the drivers out there, so we'll see how they go.
And, well, is it as flat as everyone said? I mean, flat foot as everyone said? Is it, can you hold it flat around there, or it's not beneficial for longevity?
Out there on your own quali, everyone was flat bicky, I'd suggest. I definitely was, but I ran the race set in qualifying, so that was really, really good. So probably why I'm talking to you right now. But you don't really need to. With the draft, you can roll off and get it through the corner and sit there. It depends where your race is and what you're trying to do, etc. But generally, no, I'd suggest, unless you're leading at the front, then you'd be flat bicky, pretty much.
And we've spoke about this, I think, off air, or some of the blokes did as well with this. We've got 6 trucks just fly past the camera. Super Speedway like here at Michigan?
No, definitely not super speedway like. Maybe a little bit down the straights to find a friend, but you definitely still have to look after your truck and look after your gear, and you'll see that now that the cream's rising to the top at the front. You got Skurlock and Davo up there as well, I believe. Obviously Andy's up there and Tom having a good run, but yeah, you definitely do have to look after your truck. It's not super speedway-esque at all. It's not photo leader. You need to manage your truck and strategize your race, and they're doing a good job at the moment.
They are doing a good job, and well, Brett Campbell said he's throwing under the bus. I threw Brett Campbell under the bus, but Andy, Aiden, it's your time now as we jump on board with teammate Andy Barber. Throw your commentary hat back on your head, Aiden. Commentate this lap, mate. Get into it, mate, because we'll miss the voice of Aiden Shaw's
Well, we can't do that at the moment, Pete. Just hold that thought because I can't see what you're looking at, my friend. So just hold that thought and I'll jump in.
Throw him under the bus without giving him the tools. That's doubly throwing him under the bus. Dave Douglas and Michael Skurlock, Jacobs, Roffey and Andy Barber. That's your top five. Andy Barber just about to go for a lap on when the master of ovals gets back underway. But good bit of racing so far. Aidan, you up to the challenge, mate? You got your commentary hat on?
Mate, I'm good to go. You've thrown me under the bus, but we'll see how we go. But got no live timing or anything here. I've got crew chief still talking to me here, telling me that he doesn't understand me. So I'm not sure why, but yeah, on board with Andy Barber at the moment. He's doing great tonight. He actually come into this race doing no practice at all and jumped in and just did a couple of laps and flying blind. So Andy Barber from Skypoynt Racing, Southern Stars Esports, up there in the 5th position doing a great job chasing down Roffey. You can see Fensom there with a good night out at the office so far as well. Sitting back at 6th, he's just leading this train, and that's followed by Tom Pritchard, Kenny, Troy Mortensen with a great qualifying here tonight for round number 6. He's still up there inside the top 10 in 9th position, and Trent Gosley rounds out the 10 there, Pete. So there we go, straight into the broadcast booth. How'd they go there?
Well, mate, you went sensational. Have a look at this. Trent Gosley, he led us to green a couple of times off them restarts. A battle going on a little bit further. Clyde Turner and Reese maybe go 3 wide only briefly. The black truck, a bit of a slow truck there. Not too sure what's going on, and we're getting a little bit mixed up there, Aidan. In the back, getting around a slow truck. What do you make of that?
Yeah, just people trying to get around and get their position on the racetrack at the moment. So there'll be a couple of different strategies out there on track at the moment as well. So be interesting to see how that plays out at the moment. But Dave Douglas taking the lead now over Skurlock. So they've got a nice little 0.2 of a second gap over Derek Jacobs. Good to see Derek Jacobs out of the United States of America from Southern Stars Esports Racing, sitting up there in 3rd at the moment. He does build one of the best super speedway setups I've ever seen on iRacing. It'll take it to anyone. And he's up here at the moment at Michigan, albeit not a super speedway, but up there in 3rd place and taking it to Douglas and Skurlock, currently in the top 5 of the championship. Both of those guys, with Skurlock coming into this round leading by quite a significant margin. Andy Barber's now made that move on Fensom in 4th and 5th place. So Andy Barber now he's showing on the timing as he has. So Fensom's got that one back. No, Andy Barber has. So there we go. We're on the right truck. So Andy Barber's got that back on Fensom. So Andy Barber's now ranging right up onto the back of this lead battle here now. So they've got a good gap over Fensom, Pritchard, Kenny and Mortensen in behind. Andy Barber, keep a lookout for him in the car number 5. He's catching up on the battle in front at the moment as well. But there's a car just low there on the apron coming out of turn number 2. Not sure who that was. But Derek Jacobs still just hanging on to the back of Michael Skurlock at the moment and following Dave Douglas as we have cars exiting pit lane. But Pete, I'll take it over to you, trying to catch up with your cameras. But mate, it's good at the front. It'll be interesting to see if Andy can catch up onto the back of this one.
Yeah, it'll be pretty good. Andy Barber is in 4th position, truck number 5, up to where he started, putting on the pressure now. Starting to heat up as well. I saw you under the bus doubly, a little bit erratic with the cameras, but that's me. That's how I roll. Skurlock doing a good job. You can't miss his truck, up 9 positions, and he's starting now to put on the pressure with Dave Douglas. Have we still got you there, Brett?
Yeah, mate, I'm still here. I'd actually suggest that pit lane's going to get very busy very shortly. I'm just hearing on race radio that a couple of drivers are planning on pitting from the lead pack.
And I did say, and probably led the viewers up on the garden path in the opening of the broadcast, that it's not going to be a tie game. Aidan said it's going to be a tie game. How badly could the tyres go off, and how quickly do you notice them?
Me myself personally, and like I'm still learning these cars, I was finding that after about 16 laps, my tyres, I was sort of really having to start nursing the car. But I mean, the likes of Aiden, who's probably got a lot more both real life and sim racing experience, they can go for hell of a lot longer than what I can.
Well, busy pit lane is the call. That's what Brett's getting through his ear. I think tyres
Yeah,
over the wall is generous, and I think you'll be able to get a no whiff. That Steve Williams is coming up. That he's jumped to pits. So
And what we're seeing now, gentlemen, with Steve Williams jumping to pits, as you said there, Pete, is we are seeing the difference there on how people who has saved their gear, because we're seeing a lot of difference. But we're going back to a replay here. Not sure who that is. That's
Steve
through the
Williams.
trioval, Stevie Williams. So it looks like that's night done for Stevie Williams from DPR, simrigs.com. So unfortunate there for Stevie, whether that's just he's realised that too much damage, I can't go on, or whether there was something else to that. But back to the lead, it is Derek Jacobs right in behind Dave Douglas there at the moment. So Michael Skurlock there trying to get the run on the outside. You can see Andy Barber just lurking in the background there as well. That is a lap truck in between them too, I believe there, Pete, correct me if I'm wrong. Looks like it is with the difference of tyre wear around the outside there as the leaders are coming into pit lane now. So here we go, 46 into 90, the first green flag pit stop of the night, gentlemen.
How goes that, mate? How goes that? Brett called it, and that was the call of the night, Brett. Oh, no! Who's that down the end of pit lane? That's not how you do it. That was us. Not too sure exactly.
So I just went back to Stevie Williams. It looks like he was actually tangled up in a bit of an incident going around turn 3.
Yeah, unfortunate. So a little bit to break down. Don't forget, at the end of this broadcast, probably around about 10 minutes after, we'll be live again to go through all the incidents and all the race control procedures and everything. Oh, we got a slow car. I'm not too sure who that was. He went up to the wall down. The Rockies missed him. He stayed green, but we got a car, or a truck rather, driving around the circuit at the minute with a blown engine. I'm not too sure how long he's going to last.
Sorry to jump in there, Pete. Oh, as we see the car go into pit lane there, unfortunate. But that's why I towed, because if you're going too slow with that blown engine, people get black flags. So hopefully nothing happens to that one. As apparently my damage has been taken because my truck has just decided to start. So, but we'll stay in here.
Roffey, Douglas,
sorry about that, Pete.
That's all right. We got Roffey, Douglas, and Skurlock there. A little bit split up a little bit now. Roffey's got about a 3-second gap, and then about another 1.82 in between Douglas and Skurlock. So the top three now starting to separate a little bit. Roffey is leading this one. I think we called him as a lapped car, and I think we're correct in calling that. The timing sorted itself out, and Roffey's leading this motor race at the minute, 90 laps. So we're just about halfway done through this race. Dave Douglas 10 second. Skurlock truck 350, can't miss that one. Got away with a lot tonight, Michael Skurlock, and that's the driver he is and the race brain that he has. Derek Jacobs been up there. He's working well with Andy Barber and Tom Pritchard just behind these boys. As we go caution, Chris Tomlin has a little bit of an incident.
You know what, Pete? We'll go back and watch that replay when that's available, the Skypoint replay, what happened to Chris Tomlin, but I'm interested to get onto the green flag running coming up. You've got me standing up, my hands are clapping, I'm excited now. But we'll go back to the Skypoint replay, and Chris Tomlin had a little bit of an incident there. He pulled it down onto the inside off of turn number 4. Looks like he was trying to get back to pit lane and just could not get that done, and he's had to escape. Couldn't get out enough, and there you go, there's the lights out, and that's what's brought out your next caution tonight. But I tell you what, green tyres, good tyres on most of the field, all on the same strategy now, 50 into 90 it turns into a sprint race, Pete. Looking forward to this. I can't wait. And from what I've seen, we've now got Skypoynt versus, well, Dave Douglas and Skurlock are teammates. The BMX Bandits, as they call themselves. So they're teammates as well. So it's going to be a teammate battle when we go back to green early doors. But also Roffey leading this one out on his own, but he's shown a clean set of heels all night, Pete. He's been quick at the front. Is he going to be able to do that when we go green? Still 40 to go out of 90, a long way to go, but Roffey doing a good job so far. And here we go. We're seeing a couple of blinks there into pit lane. So now all the games are starting to play out as drivers trying to outfox each other in the pit lane. And looks like Andy Barber there did stay out, as did Derek Jacobs. I think a driver did go into pit lane there. I'm not sure who that was. Pete, would have been Roffey, I believe, as that might be Dave Douglas at the front. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, we got Reese May and Craig Roffey. They entered pit road to get theirs done. And one thing, just going with that engine exploration, I'm not too sure. I think I've seen probably one or two, and I'm not too sure whether a lot of people put their tape or whatever a little bit forward or a little bit back. I did hear that it watched the temperature to a couple of different drivers throughout the practice session as we grab Christopher Tomlin into the broadcast booth. Chop, we got you there, mate. We got you there, Chop.
He's in the broadcast booth, Pete.
Oh yeah, because we're not in the broadcast booth. So that's they're broadcasting out the podium as well. So my bad. We bring Chop into
He's in now.
the broadcast. Chop, engine exploration, or was there more to it?
Yeah, had a bit of a collision with Seb on the 8th lap, and yeah, the engine just fully expired. So yeah, not much can do about that, but oh well, that's racing.
How was the racing out on track leading up to that point, mate? It looked pretty fierce throughout the field.
Yeah, it was good. Having a few battles with Seb and that, and Aiden, I think it was just basically, just training it, and I was right on Seb's bumper, and by the time I seen the smoke and hit the picks, yeah, had nowhere to go. So yeah, had a few, like 10 minutes worth of damage to the truck, so had nowhere to go, and yeah, managed to get back out and do a few laps. Not the fastest, but every spot counts at the end of the day.
Just quickly before we go live, you just mentioned you were in a battle with Aiden there for a little bit. Any quick friendly banters there of the battles you had before we go green again?
No, it was, always coming out here having fun. It's about staying clean most of the time, so we try our best, we go our hardest, and sometimes it goes our way, and other times, you're shit out of luck.
Yeah, and I just had my brake pedal on, that's why you passed me. There you go, there's the banner, Pete. But no, you did a great job. Great
We'll
job
let you
tonight,
go, mate.
But yeah, we're about to go green.
All right.
Thanks, Chop. Yeah, I need to get a little bit louder. So they've been saying, and Aiden's been saying the same in game, not in real life. But Aiden, well, bring us to green, buddy. Lap 52 of 90.
They're about to go green now. Pace car's coming off now.
Yeah, we got that. We're going live. We're good to go. We're about to go green. And it is Dave Douglas, Michael Skurlock. The BMX Bandits off the front row. We'll have Derek Jacobs from the United States of America and Andy Barber off the outside of that second row. We're green. Dave Douglas with a good jump. He's going to move straight up to that front. We've got a wreck in the background straight off the start, and that was some of the front players there. Not sure whether Andy Barber or the like were involved in that. When it's available, we'll go back to the Skypoynt replay. Make sure that you're watching Pete's screen here, Brett, and so you can see, because that's live, mate. But we're under caution again as we go back to the Skypoynt replay. So you can see this is off the start here. So Skurlock and Douglas off the front row. There is a car blinking.
Whoever's that on the outside was blinking, which I believe was the one that got turned. No, it was a car behind him.
Yeah, so definitely that that car was turned and a little bit of help there too. But well, that's the nature of cautions, isn't it? We say in circuit racing, safety cars breed safety cars, and well, in NASCAR, cautions breed cautions. We're going caution again, lap 54 of 90, and it's been a few, Aidan, and you've been involved in this one. You're defending the championship for last season, but what's the nature of, or what's the chatter in the discords when we're going stop go and then long green runs? Do you expect the long green runs, or are you expecting the race to be stop start if we start like this, like we have here tonight?
Oh, look, to be honest with you, Pete, a field this size, we're expecting a couple of cautions. I can tell you when there's more than a couple, you get a little bit hot under the collar and you just want to go racing, because sometimes every time you go green, it's trying to fight them off 3 wide all the time. You can't settle into your groove, you can't get going, and that's good for the viewers and it's good for the end. But from a race car driver, or was in the real life historically a racer, but into the sim world, you just sort of want to get in and get your groove and get going. So it can be a bit frustrating. But what I find is who can hold their nerve the most when we come back to the green flag and know where they are with their car or truck in this occasion, know where it is compared to their competition around them, and know who they're racing. Now we're only 55 down now, of 90. It all sort of goes out the window because fresh tyres are being thrown on board not so long ago. Some might have kept them a couple, or kept it in the bank, so we don't know yet. I don't have that live timing up, so a lot of different strategies, but you're going to see that it's going to be 2-3 wide early, I'd suggest, on this restart, as we've only now got 35 laps to go. So pretty much this is where they're playing their poker face, or they're putting their cards down and going all in. So probably a little bit too early, like I said, with the guys with their strategies, not so much the race. So we'll see how they go here, but it's still Douglas and Skurlock at the front. They have been strong all night long, as has Derek Jacobs in the 99 out of the United States of America. I keep saying that. It is early morning over in the United States of America. Keep an eye on Derek Jacobs. He'll be the first to admit he does not have the best luck in Australian servers. Different ping, different things than what he's used to, but he's now in third place. Andy Barber, his teammate there. So have a look at that. You've got 2 Skypoint cars and a Southern Stars, 2 Skypoint trucks and a Southern Stars truck there, right together. So they'll be wanting to work together as well. They are teammates, but the BMX Bandits of Douglas and Skurlock will have something to say about that one. Adam Tice there in the 7th position with Bruns, Roffey and Troy Mortensen still in the 10th position. So Pete and Brett, they're going down the back straight. We're about to get Barney to wave the green flag, and we're about to go green flag racing once again tonight. Hopefully we can get some green flag running towards the end. I can definitely tell you they cannot get to the end on fuel.
Well, it's a new and improved Geico restart zone. We got a truck in the back. Getting up to speed, he's probably going to have the advantage of the run. Lap 56 and 90, 5th caution of the night. Skurlock and Dave Douglas, they got the front row. Andy Barber has been thereabouts throughout the whole night. We're 80% through this lap. Remember, top 12 will be adjudicated. We've got to be within 2 truck lengths. Geico restart zone, you'll see it blue on the wall, blue on the track. Here we go. Dave Douglas brings us to green off the back of the 5th caution period of the night. Skurlock goes with him. Dave and Derek Jacobs on the bottom line. Andy Barber goes down the bottom, and a couple of the other drivers as well. They won't maintain this double line. One would presume. I think they'll skitter out to one line as we go almost 3 wide. I think a little bit further up, so 3 wide. I don't think this is what you want to do around here, but good restart, especially from the front few.
Yeah, this is, like I said, with 57 into 90, this is where they're going to flex their muscles a little bit and have a little bit of a run. They're going to want to make their way to the front, because if this does go green to the end, they want to be in the best position possible to be able to make that strategy call. If we do go green to the end, what we've seen tonight so far, I'm not quite sure whether that is going to be the case, but we're about to find out in the next 32 laps. I don't have live timing, Pete, so unless I remember who the driver is, I do apologise, ladies and gentlemen, of telling you who's on screen at the moment, but there's battles aplenty as they go down the back stretch here, and all the way back single file. The 85 there making their way through turn number 3 and 4, but Douglas and Skurlock still leading the way as they make their way across the across the start-finish line, rather. Eric Jacobs is now pulling up onto the back of them in third place. Andy Barber in the fourth position. Fifth position is sitting there. I don't have the live timing, my apologies. And Tom Pritchard just in behind this battle as well. So Derek Jacobs pulling along Andy Barber, and Tom Pritchard's going to want to try and get up in front of the car in front to be able to be part of this battle as well. But the top three at the moment, they've been pretty much the top three for the whole of the night, bar the start of the proceedings. That is Dave Douglas, Michael Skurlock, and Derek Jacobs. But nice little 7-car breakaway battle here now. So you can see Tom Pritchard in the background slowly gaining onto the back of this battle. And you can see, I believe, one of the Rockies maybe in the background by the paint there, middle split, I believe there, Pete. So a nice little 7-8 car breakaway here at the front, and they've probably got about half a second on the cars in behind.
Yeah, it's been a great battle. It's been a great restart. Lap 60 of 90, 30 to go. 2 thirds done, 1 third to go. We'll fix up that timing issue in 1 second. With this battle out in front. Remember, fuel and tyres is the sort of different strategies for these deep guys. Stay on top of it. You've got to beat the first one to cross the strike to win round number 6. Bring it up for a lap of battles. To the back end of this race. Have a look at these trucks there. Mighty close. Douglas, Skurlock, Jacobs, Andy Barber, and the rest of probably 7 cars, I think Aidan called it, just before we jumped on board with this lead pack. But 4 in the battle. Front, a little bit of a gap, back to another 3. The gap. The gaps don't matter at this stage of the race. It's get buying your ticket to the end of the race, and well, you could do a Bradbury. You could overtake 14, 15 cars and take the victory. It's looking good out in front. Dave Douglas up 8, Michael Skurlock up 9. Eric Jacobs qualified that well. He's sitting in 3rd and level from where he qualified. Andy Barber up 2, and Pritchard up 11, so mover of the night is Dylan O'Shea up 23 positions. Battles everywhere, 26 to go here.
Yeah, no surprise to see Dylan O'Shea up the highest mover of the night. He's had some solid results lately as you're on board with him as well. His car or his truck doesn't look the best tonight. He's been a little bit in the wars, but he's kept trucking around, as they say, with 26 laps to go. So I had a good battle with him the other night in another race somewhere. I can't remember where it was, but Dylan O'Shea having some great oval results. He's an absolute weapon around the road, and part of Simbrig's DPR, so no slouches over there. As Andrew Dyson was in this race as well, and I tell you what, he would have been one to watch out for if he didn't get caught up in something earlier on. But yeah, at the moment, Dylan O'Shea doing a great job. But at the front, it is all about the BMX Bandits. I don't mean to keep going back there, but this is where the battle is at the moment. We are only 25 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. It is Dave Douglas, followed by Michael Twiller, Derek Jacobs there in third, and Andy Barber fourth. Now we've seen Tom Pritchard. He's been released from the battle in behind as well. So that's allowed him to now range up onto the back. So it's now 2 teammates versus 3 teammates with 24 laps to go. You've got Dave Douglas and Michael Skurlock in 1 and 2 as Derek tries to make a run down on the low line through 1 and 2. He's trying to take 2 for 1 here out of turn number 2 down the back straight here at Michigan. He can't quite get that done now. He's going to struggle with the toe. You can see his teammates just trying to move down on him to be able to help him out, and he's sort of just showed his nose there, and you can see how big of a run when he really tried. He tried to get through 1 or 2. So is he sizing him up for later in the race? We've still got another pit stop to go through yet, so a lot to play out. But Derek Jacobs just showed his nose a little bit there with his 2 teammates coming up in behind as well. So are they wanting to move to the front? Do they feel stronger, or they feel they've got the break? It's a 5-car break at the front now. Let's all work together, get through the pit stop and then go racing. But I'll tell you what, good racing at the front here, team versus team, 5 cars in the battle. I guarantee you it won't be the last we talk about this battle, nor any other for the rest of the night, Pete.
And it's good for you to note as well, Douglas and Skurlock, they're both teammates, and as is the next 3 cars, you've got a Roffey coming up behind them. In fact, and that's you got a Roffey coming up, and he wants to join the party as well. He wants to drag the rest of them guys up. But look out, Douglas and Skurlock. You got 3 Southern Stars starting to push up, and Derek Jacobs, and I don't want to put the commentator's curse on him, pretty unlucky, I think. Like the guy should have way more accolades than what he does, the way he drives, his strategy. But right now, tonight will be the night, 22 laps to go. He is leading his team in the way of drafting. Is he the one that's got the strategy right? Is he the one that's got a little bit wrong and is towing them because there's nothing to lose? Who knows? Because there are 2 things that could happen and would happen in oval racing. But Dave Douglas and Skurlock, well, they're showing themselves in the 350 machines, clean as, kept his nose clean all throughout the night, and also got away with a couple of things there, but good quick driving. Sees him up in second, but I think the Southern Stars boys, Brett, they're doing a good job, but anyone can win ovals, can't they?
Yes, they can, mate. And I would hazard a guess that we are just about into, if not well into, the final pit window. So I would expect any time now those top 5 cars, because they all pitted on lap 47, will be coming through pit lane.
Have you done any calculations leading up to this? Of course, you were racing earlier, but unfortunate race out. It's a little bit of a battle here, but did you do any calculations? What
I think it's about 24 laps for fuel burn, mate. So they're well into that final pit window.
Okay, I'm going to have to correct you. They're well and true into the final pit window, gentlemen. They could pit now and get to the end. So now it's a racer who, they'll have a set of tyres over the wall. Now it's a racer who wants to go first. At the moment, they're not going to want to blink. If we talk about fuel, you can get 28 laps of fuel out of it. So fuel won't be an issue now to the end, but they will also, well, they're going to take tyres, so that will null and void. The longer they go here, obviously they'll have to take less fuel to the end, but if they take 4 tyres, that's going to completely wipe that out. So Are you going to want to do that early anyway, get it done, and run with lesser tyres at the end and try and get the overcut? Or are you going to do the undercut and you're going to stay out longer and come back at the end? But in saying that too, if you get a late caution and you pit early through this period, you're stuck with the tyres you're on to the end. And if the drivers don't, then they can come in under caution. So this is really the critical part of the race at the moment. If it goes green to the end, we're going to see strategy. If it doesn't, it's going to come down to luck if one of these drivers are in pit lane and a caution does come out. So, and how often have we seen that, gentlemen, in oval racing, especially trying to navigate your way through some lap traffic? We've seen that so often than not, have we not, Brett?
We have, and there's nothing worse than coming up behind somebody who's a lapped car, trying to get past them cleanly, and a silly mistake and taking you out of the equation completely.
Yeah, 100%.
I've done that to you once, Brett, I think. My bad. But yeah, that is the worst time. The worst part. You don't want that to happen to any of the other drivers. In the talk, I think, with a few drivers that tyres weren't going to be an issue. But you're saying you're going to change tyres for the next stop and hopefully get home on them and be the quicker driver, Aiden. Tyres, so that has that much of an effect here. If you don't change tyres and you're within this bunch here, if we go caution again, or on your next stop rather, if you don't do tyres, are you going to be left for dead is pretty much the question.
Yeah, well, I don't have live timing in front of me, but from driving these trucks on quite numerous occasions, there is no way that these trucks are driving at the pace of fresh tyres at the moment. That is just not humanly possible. There still will be some tyre wear. The difference is with some of the updates, sometimes you can not get tyre wear but still superheat the tyre and get it really, really hot. But you can see now it looks like Skurlock's going to come into pit lane. And
So it's Double D.
And so is Dave Douglas. But you can see that the Skypoint and Southern Stars guys were just holding off the back there a little bit. Andy Barber's now got in front of Derek. So Derek was riding shotgun from the team. Roffy's now coming up as well on the inside. So Derek was riding shotgun. Not sure if this is going to hurt Derek's race long term. He's pulled these guys up into contention, but will these guys come into pit lane now and cover it off? So this is exactly what I was saying before. Are they going to go a bit longer? If a caution came out right now, in the next 5 or 6 laps, and they could do another 5 or 6 laps, that'd be amazing, but they can't. And they're coming into pit lane and they're covering it off. Roffy around the outside there and nearly contact with Douglas. Not Douglas, Jacobs. Jacobs lost 2 spots there on the entry to pit lane, but good move there by Roffy on the outside. But they're now into pit lane. So now it'll be keeping an eye just on your live timing there, Pete, on where Michael Skurlock and Dave Douglas are in relation to these guys when they make their way out onto the racetrack once again. Only 14 laps to go, and this is a sprint. So there they are. They're going into turn number 3 and 4 at the moment. The guys are still on pit road, Dave Douglas and Michael Skurlock. They'll make their way out of turn number 3. We'll watch the exit of turn number 2. That's where we're going to see the drivers come out of pit lane, and whether there's going to be an undercut or an overcut. There would definitely be an undercut, I'd suggest, by these 2 drivers, but will the other drivers be able to come back and drive back to these guys? But here it is, they're coming out of turn number 2 now, and you can see there the Skypoint car or truck just going onto the back stretch. So there's the undercut, the overcut. They've gone early, or undercut, they've gone early, and they're going to make a good fist of this at the front. But will the Skypoint and Stars cars or trucks there, and it looks like that's Andy Barber all on his lonesome there. So at the moment, something's happened through pit lane there. So that's not good. Derek Jacobs now got a friend there in 4th and 5th. Is that the Skypoint truck as well? Can't quite see that on my graphic, but I tell you what, 1st, 2nd and 3rd are gone now. So this goes green to the end. That's pretty much your podium.
Reese May, Fenton and Seedle, they're the drivers that you're talking about. And yeah, I was wondering what happened there. It split up the teammates, didn't they? Andy Barber and Derek Jacobs. Maybe someone done tyres and someone didn't. There's a big gap in between those drivers at the moment. Is that enough to rule them out? Being having this amount of free space and this amount of free air. There's no draft, remember. Andy Barber right now burning everything at maximum. He's got a couple of drivers in front of him, and he can see it, and that'll be the carrot, I think, dangled in front of his face. This one, Dave Douglas and Michael Skurlock. I think we can call them the effective race leaders with 11 laps to go. Henry Fenton and O'Shea, they're leading at the minute. May and Seidel have gone through pit road at the moment. 10 laps to go when they cross the strike again. And Dave Douglas and Skurlock doing a good job. Barber and Jacobs, a little bit of a costly spill, I think, in pit stops. May have one of them just drop out the podium, the top three.
Yeah, unfortunate there. We're not quite sure what happened there, but it is still Douglas leading the way over Skurlock. Just 11 laps to go. They're not leading on track. We're waiting for all the pit stops to play out, but I'd suggest they would be your incumbent leaders. But if we look at the top, it is still O'Shea in second, Roffey third, and then Douglas, Skurlock fourth and fifth. So they will take the lead of this motor race because the front three will have to pit. I'd strongly suggest keep one eye in the background there. How far do they have over third place? Quite a big margin over Roffey. I believe it is in third place at the moment as well, the 0.30. Or is that Roffey in the lead?
That's Craig Roffey in the lead. He's stayed out. Dave Douglas, Michael Skurlock shadow him, working in pairs, working in partnership. O'Shea and Fenton still in the pit. Craig Roffey last pit on lap 76 rather. So he's right on strategy. The guys that did pit on 76 is Andy Barber, Gosley and Pritchard as well. The guys behind Dave Douglas and Skurlock, my screen, apologies, couldn't get that timing to you, is lap 75, so it ties the thing. One lap, does it matter? You got Roffey now starting to get eaten up by these leaders.
Yeah, definitely not going to matter, Pete, when you've got teammates to work with, and you'll see Michael Skurlock and Dave Douglas, or the other way around, Dave Douglas and Michael Skurlock, the 10 and the 350. They will pull right up onto the back of Roffey here. Just having that mate just in behind, giving you a little bit of help, just resisting that draft, and you can see how quickly, mind you, they're on different strategies, but we're going to see Douglas and Skurlock with only a handful of laps to go. They'll be up onto the back of Roffey, and they'll be making this to take the lead of this motor race sooner rather than later. But they are very long-term campaigners, in the trucks. They know how to drive them, let alone any NASCAR, and they will play it smart, as you see them just navigating around the teammate of Roffey in the lead. And there you go, Douglas has made the move straight away. He's got the run, and he's gone, I'm making the move to the lead of the motor race. Michael Skurlock will follow him through. Skurlock will now use Roffey's draft, and he'll drop down underneath Roffey. If Roffey does let him into 1 and 2, he's going to get a good run. He'll try and get underneath him there and use the draft of Dave Douglas into 1 and 2 here. You'll see him drop down, and now Roffey is a sitting duck through 1 and 2. Expect Michael Skurlock to clear him, or at least get close to clearing him off 1 and 2. Now you'll see Douglas just move the truck down a little bit to help Skurlock off the turn, but Roffey doing a great job on the outside, and he covers that off. Roffey's smarter than those two, and there you go. A move for the front, and Roffey's not going to let this one go easy as he tries to move back down on the inside there, Pete.
Well, the battle is definitely up the front. Douglas, Roffey, Skurlock. I think we're going to pretty much have our attention on this for most of it. We've got Skurlock behind, and he's, I think, picking up his mate of Dave Douglas. But Roffey, he's like, mate, I've seen these tricks before. I know what teammates do. I know what you need to do to win as a teammate and push your teammate home. He wants to stay in between. If Roffey stays in between, anything can happen. Lap 6 or 6 laps to go of 90. I think with Craig Roffey staying in between the teammates, that just sort of takes that play out of the book as we come up to some lap traffic. Lap traffic will play a part. Oh, he checks up. Whoa. Just averts a big incident, Brett.
Yeah, and I've just gone back through the pit stops of Barber, Pritchard, Jacobs and Roffey. I believe Roffey has only taken the 2 outside tyres.
Oh, is that going to leave him vulnerable at the final stage of this race? Only outside tyres for Roffey. Currently sits in the middle of Douglas and Skurlock.
Funny you say that, Pete, and thanks, Brett, for that information. That is the case. I was about to say before you mentioned that, Brett, that it looked like Dave did have a little bit of the better pace, and the more that Skurlock was trying to fight to get around Roffey, it was going to allow Dave Douglas to get a little bit of a gap, and a gap that would not be able to be had. At the moment, 4 laps to go. Roffey's still getting the run in the 1 and 2. Excuse me. Just getting into the draft nicely into 1 and 2, but you can see he's getting a little bit tight there on exit, which allows Dave Douglas, mid-corner, to allows Dave Douglas to just get a better exit and just off the draft. So he needs to be another 2 or 3 truck lengths up to really be able to have a dive here, but 4 to go. It'll be 3 across the strike this time to go. Lap car in front, Dave Douglas. You can just see how much better he can rotate that truck through the mid-corner. Koch there getting out of the way, I believe that was, or it looks like he's paying. So Dave Douglas, bar anything going wrong, really has this one under his belt with another W here. A win here for the Skypoynt Oval Truck Series. But 3 to go. Dave Douglas now navigating his way. Rocky still holding on in the background over Michael Skurlock. Michael Skurlock now trying to navigate his way through this lap traffic as well. So Roffey utilising this lap traffic to the best of his ability to try and hold on to that second position over the current championship leader coming into this round, the 350 of Michael Skurlock. So it looks like at the moment they've sort of settled down in 1, 2, 3. There's just 2 laps to go as we go across the line, Pete.
Well, Dave Douglas, he was smart, wasn't he? He overtaken those lap traffic and utilised them. And I was just about to say it. I was waiting for a break to say it. And well, you've called heaps of these races. You knew exactly what he was doing. He's making those overtakes on the lap traffic to work to his advantage. Dave Douglas, he wants to get out in front. He wants to bring his teammates along with him. And also Rocky, again, I think he's got the race brain on. He wants second. He doesn't want third. And he's maintaining that and running with, I think, Dave Douglas's moves through this bit of lap traffic. But utilising that lap traffic, I think, is key. But final lap of the race, Dave Douglas, Greg Roffey and Michael Skurlock on the race has been, I think, the podium. Dave Douglas, what a drive.
Yeah, he's been driving really well lately, as Michael Skurlock. They always do, but Dave Douglas, he's had some solid results lately. No surprise to see him up here in the winner's booth. He can just navigate his way through turn number 3 and 4 for the final time tonight. And I believe this might be a second-time winner here as there's a car spinning. Oh! That was very lucky. Dave Douglas just gets through there, and Roffey does. I tell you what, Dave Douglas's eyes would have been the size of dinner plates.
Well, that was a lap car. I thought it was someone in contention there, but it wasn't, thankfully. But, sideways over the line with 90 laps, and it was quite spread out throughout most of it, but them guys out front, they know what they're doing. Dave Douglas wins another one, and that's going to spread out the points again. $1,000 up for grabs, thanks for Skypoynt. And the series is one leg of the Royal Triple Crown, but what a finish, Dave Douglas, Roffey and Skurlock. Skurlock, what do you reckon, run out a bit of tyres there? Because I think he run out of pace the last 4 laps, or maybe the other 2 just stepped it up.
He was on the same strategy as Dave, so not sure. Might have burned up the front a little bit, just being in the hot air of Dave, or could have had a little bit of a touch of the walls here or there, we don't know. So still great job there by Skurlock as Dave Douglas for the second time in the series. We're only 6 rounds in. And Dave Douglas, your winner once again. This time it's Michigan International Speedway. And he's going to consolidate his championship position. Michael Skurlock will still go out of round number 6 tonight with the championship lead. But the BMX Bandits, they absolutely put a stranglehold at the top of this championship. Jason Holdsworth had a bad night tonight. So he's going to lose a lot of points. That's 2 weeks in a row for Jason. He's not going to be happy, but he's going to come back here for round number 7 next week and see whether he can get back in the winner's lane. But it is all about Dave Douglas tonight. It was Roffey in second, and it was Michael Skurlock in third. But we'll go through your standings tonight when we do have a second. So here we go. It was Dave Douglas coming home in first position tonight. Craig Roffey in second position, and Michael Skurlock will round out your podium place getters here for round number 6 of the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series from Michigan International Speedway. Andy Barber will come home in P4. Good solid points there for Andy Barber from Skypoynt Racing. He's going to be very chuffed with that one, coming into the round well inside top 5 in points. Trent Gosley in 5th. Derek Jacobs from the United States in 6th with a good solid drive. He'll be happy with that one as well. 7th place, Tom Pritchard. 8th place was Colin Bruns. 9th place, Reese May. Henry Fenson round out your 10, Pete, as we go on to 11th.
11th position, Tony Roffey had a good run. So did his family in the Roffies in the truck series. He finished in 11. Marshall just behind him. Dylan O'Shea, Adam Tice, Nigel Seidel, Tristan Koch, Shannon Blackburn, Eric Fenson. He had a good run there and a little bit of a miss-up, I think, in the later stages of the race. Sees him one lap down. Troy Mortensen, Darren McKenzie, Luke Kenny, good run, but he finishes 8 laps down than a few of the other drivers. Down more than 10 laps, rather. Roffey, Waterson, Kuzak, Bosens, Kai Turner, Wolf, Steve Williams. Steve Williams, not a name that we regularly see with a DNF beside his name. Down 47 laps. He'd be disappointed with that, and so would his teammate. But definitely a name we don't see down there. 47 laps down, and a few of the other drivers there. Tomlin, Dyson, which is another name we don't see down here, and Aidan Shields and Brett Campbell there, another couple of names we don't usually see them in the DNFs, but
most definitely not that far down anyway.
Yeah, definitely. No, well, it was a tough race, and well, the guys that could finish the race and did, and with the battles, and I think Dave Douglas used that traffic wisely to maintain his position. But I also think that equally as good as the driver as our race leader and winner Dave Douglas is Craig Roffey, because Aidan, he knew what happens, really. That's how I seen it. He knows what happens when teammates work together, and he sat there in the middle, didn't he? Once he lost that position to Douglas, he sat there in the middle and he went with him, and he stopped a teammate 1-2.
Yeah, exactly. But there's no better people to talk about that as the 3 people that were involved in the battle. There's no point me talking about that. So round 6 of the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series here from Michigan International Speedway. We do have your podium place getters up in the booth. And first and foremost, good job, Aidan. First and foremost, Michael Skurlock, mate, coming into the round, championship leader. No surprise to see you up here having another solid result. Bit stop-startish, as we've seen a couple of the rounds, but no surprise to see you at the front. You'd be happy with the P3.
Yeah, cheers, Aidan. I'm happy, man. Like, I was trying to stay there with Dave, and then we thought Craig was probably going to run out of fuel. We couldn't figure out how he got to where he was, but he was flying there, especially on the last few laps. So, I just like to stay safe, mate. I wasn't going to risk the points leading that. So just 3rd place is as good as a win for me.
Yeah, and that's why you are where you are in the championship and everything else you do. You know, something I need to learn. But anyway, we'll worry about that for another day. But, mate, starting where you did, though, you must have had a little bit of something in the back of your mind, because you weren't right at the front, you weren't right at the back, and you sort of know in these races in the field, it's so easy to get caught up in something and do absolutely nothing wrong. So mindset, as you said, coming into the race was obviously keeping it clean, but it's one thing thinking about it and doing it. So how'd you manage your way through? I know there was a really large wreck there earlier, which unfortunately took a couple of drivers out, including myself. How'd you get your way through that?
I think, mate, the main reason is because I barely get home to picking the misses up to get to these races. So I have to register before I even get home, and then I get like 0 practice. So I just don't even try. I'm just taking it so easy that I'm just letting the race come. Like, by the end of the race, hopefully I learn what to do. But that's basically all I've been doing, and I got lucky on that early crash because it happened right next to me, and I just ducked to the inside. So that could have gone a lot worse for me, but I'm just been fortunate so far in this series.
Well, mate, P3 anyway, another solid result, obviously extending your championship lead at the front. You thought it was going to be a Bandits 1-2. Obviously, there's a Roffy in between there, but nice solid night nonetheless, mate. Of course, I'll throw across to you, Pete, before we jump across to second place tonight. But anything you want to have a chat to Michael about before we let him go?
Yeah, Michael, we're speaking to you again here, mate. It's, and you mentioned luck as well. I suppose oval racing, and I've said it plenty of times before, if you think it's easy, come and do it. Come join these blokes, and I reckon after half an hour you'll be like, wow, okay. It's an eye-opener to me. It's an eye-opener to probably some people viewing as well. It is an element of luck, and, well, there's a good bit of driving. I think we went and had a on-board look at the replay of you just sort of going left, right, and darting through and getting through that one. But you've been on the other side of those ones in other series on multiple occasions, as most drivers and racers.
Yep.
I suppose it's probably more of a clench moment when that sort of happens right in front of you and you get away with it because the worst can happen.
Yeah, well, that's the reason we do it, mate. It makes it the up and down, the excitement, the emotions. It's like gambling or something. So I think that's why this is so addictive to do, because you never know what you're going to get in a race, in an oval race.
And competitors, you had a lot of good competitors around you tonight, as you have most of the series. The competitors, what's it like out on track, and is it? Do you relive sort of battles that you've had the week before? You just try and focus on the weeks that we're doing now.
No, just trying to focus. Obviously I've been battling with Dave a lot lately, but Craig was there last week as well. He was doing well, so yeah, I know to look out for him. And everyone's had their time in the sun on this series so far, but yeah, it's just some people have got a bit unlucky. I think James Holdsworth, he definitely got pace, but like he's been unfortunate. So, but yeah, no, congrats to Dave and Craig. Good racing.
It was
Well,
good.
Scully,
Sorry,
Pete. Scully, I'll jump in, mate. Say big congratulations again, another podium. You've had a couple of bad runs in other leagues in the last couple of days, so you'd be happy to come home with P3, mate. But big shout out to everyone involved, mate, those BMX Bandits and all the guys involved.
Yeah, mate, yep. Just shout out to BMX Bandits. You boys here for the LRE Sports Network and Skypoynt for putting on this and putting on the show. And just, all the competitors for rocking up, giving us someone to race, and they're all doing well out there. Congrats, Dave and Craig, as well.
No worries at all, mate. Congratulations again on your P2. But Pete, there is your P3 place. Congratulations on your P3. There is your P3 place. Get a Pete. It is Michael Skurlock extending his championship lead at the front. We'll move across to Craig Roffey. Craig, second place tonight. I tell you what, quick on the dirt. Go across to the ovals, mate, on the asphalt. I tell you what, you're showing a clean set of heels. Another good result tonight, coming home in P2.
Yeah, thanks, mate. What a race, eh? I'm shaking.
I don't want to talk about it. Don't want to talk about it. But
Nah, not at all.
we'll talk about your race, P2. Yeah, mate. Great race. Close racing all the way around, mate. Especially around some really good company. So definitely got to be happy with that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's good knowing you can race close around these guys. Like they're going to hold their line, and you can push up against them, use the side draft, and yeah, happy days. It's good.
And Craig, mate, you jumped in between Dave and Michael with the dying stages of this race. Talk us through that moment. I called it as this is where you want to stay because two teammates working together at the end of a race like this, well, they'll push each other to victory. Did you want to stay in between them?
When on my last pit stop, I come out, had 3 seconds. I'm like, oh, they're going to catch me. And then I saw them, they were taking their exact line. I don't even know their teammates. So as soon as they caught me, I thought I'm going to split them and just sit behind him, sit behind Dave and just see what he does, follow what he does. And then last 2 laps, I gave myself a bit of room for a run up. And then at the same time, because I was running out of fuel, I ran out of fuel across the line. So I had to sort of watch the fuel numbers at the same time as try and follow Dave. And yeah, lucky to get second in the end.
Fuel or tyres, mate? What were you watching most?
Fuel.
Fuel. Good
Yeah.
race, mate. Aiden, any last words? And I'll let you wrap this up with Craig.
Yeah, not really, mate. Craig, just once again, big congratulations on your P2. Another good haul of points for the championship. Still a long way to go. I'm like, as you've said, you're really happy with that one. But in saying that, I need to say that I didn't ask Skurlock actually, Skurly, before he went. I will ask Dave Douglas the same question. We now transition away from the 1.5 sort of medium tracks and we go back into 2 rounds of super speedways. So we saw how the opening 2 rounds went with the super speedways. Of course, the winner tonight and dual winner of the Skypoint Truck Series this season, Dave Douglas, loves the super speedway. How are you feeling going into super speedways again for the second time this season? And it'll be the second time of third because there's the Triple Crown as well at stake.
I'm pretty sure on the first or the second one, I got a 3rd place, I believe. I might be wrong. I don't know. But I enjoy the super speedways. You don't have to rely on tyres as much, so you can just hold it flat and just follow the line.
Well, we'll let you know currently in the series so far in across the 2. So to do the triple count, it's really hard, but currently at Daytona, Tom Pritchard's leading, Clayton Fry's leading at Talladega. Currently, you're in 3rd at Daytona on points as well. So Triple Crown at the moment is going to be hard to be done, but there's still something up for grabs to winning the Super Speedway stuff. But, mate, good to see you excited for the next round Super Speedway racing. Craig Roffey, P2 tonight. Big shout out to all those sponsors, everyone, for your place tonight.
Thanks, mate. Looking forward to it. Just big shout out to the middle split fellas, and as always, the Roffies that come along. If people don't know, Kim's my brother, and Tony's my old man. Thanks for all the competitors coming. LR Esports for broadcast, and Skypoint for putting the show together. Yeah, cheers.
No worries at all. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Second place getter tonight for round number 6 of the Skypoint NASCAR Truck Series was Craig Roffey. We go straight across to your winner, your second-time winner tonight, a second-time winner here in this series, Dave Douglas, Double D, mate. How good was that? Another W.
Hey boys, that was a good race, man. I'm pretty happy with the efforts there. Like, I reckon that's probably the best race, one of the best races I've ever executed. Like, just no mistakes, man. Like, pitted when we had to, ran out the front when we had to. You know, just got to the point where I had to just drive the car. So, minimise any mistakes. So that was good, and that was a big thing to win here, especially 2 green flag stops, which is we don't do often, but always enjoyable. But yeah, I'm happy with how we executed that race. It was good win, man.
Yeah, it was a great drive, mate. It was great to watch, and being sort of up in that front section early definitely did help because there was a bit of shenanigans going down through the mid pack. So I bet you're glad you sort of qualified where you did to sort of get out of that early and not have to deal with that.
Yeah, well, I knew the qualifying car wasn't as good as some of those around, but was able to pretty immediately start moving through the field off the green flag, and I did see a few big wrecks in the mirror. So luckily enough, we were in front of them today. I know a few of the guys that are fast and that I expected to see in the mirror did get caught up in them, so it's unfortunate for those guys. And especially Jason Holdsworth, like he was flying out front. That quali lap was amazing. Like that, the 10th clear of the field, and then to get no reward for it, just get caught up in an accident. So it's a shame for him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and that's 2 weeks in a row, or at least 2 out of the last 3. Because I remember at Phoenix he had the same issue at the start. So unfortunate there for Jaso, but he's always quick, loves the trucks, and does a lot of American leagues as well in open sets. Love open sets. But we talk about open sets, and the Skypoint NASCAR Truck Series is an open set. I know you do a lot of other leagues, and I see you there and thereabouts. We're no strangers to each other in those leagues. A lot of them are fixed. This is open. Obviously, people have different access to different things, different knowledge on how to set up a car if they are that way inclined to try and do that. How are you finding it? Obviously, they're completely different trucks or cars to drive. Over long periods, you need to know how to do them as opposed to a fixed setup. And a lot more you can change on the run. How are you finding adapting going across to that? Obviously, no stranger, you've done officials and and dealt with
Yeah.
setup. But how are you feeling the difference?
I
Definitely
mean,
adapting.
yeah, it's enjoyable because you can make like changes to suit whatever you're driving as well. So um, I like fingering and thumbing the old stock cars. They're a lot to me anyway. They seem a lot easier to set up than a V8 supercar or something like that. So
Yep.
I like to stiffen up suspension and all those bits and pieces, and a lot of it is suspension. It's about trying to get it like top speed, truck on a deck, that sort of stuff. Get the wing out of the air, just to throw out a few little things out there. But yeah, they're enjoyable to tweak and have fun with. In the races, I tend to forget because I do so much fixed racing. I forget that it's open, and I don't make any changes. I literally just change tires.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's definitely good, just something different, and yeah, it's been really enjoyable.
Yeah, well, Pete, across to you, mate. Dave Douglas, your race winner. Have a little bit of a chat with him before we let him go, and we'll wrap up the broadcast.
Yeah, Dave, what a race, mate. Michigan, a success for you, mate. P1, you're no stranger to that, as Aiden alluded to, but it's been a good race. It's been a good series so far for you and your team. What do you expect leading into next week? And we go back into the super speedways in a couple of rounds to go. But Charlotte, is that one of your strong sort of tracks?
Yeah, it hasn't been. I don't know why. I don't know. Yeah, I think it would be good for my style, but it doesn't really suit my style for some reason. I don't know. I like the Poconos, the Indianapolis, those sorts of speedways, and then obviously, as Dayton said, the super speedways. So I'm keen to get back there for another double header of Dagger and Daytona, and hopefully we can try and get ourselves 3 wide up around the outside there and get a win or something like that, and do something special on the broadcast. But most of all, obviously, just finish those races and try and chase down Skirley for the championship lead.
Looking forward to crowning one of you boys, or anyone in that fact. Everyone's in the chase for the Skypoynt Championship, and also the Skypoynt Royal Triple Crown, $1,000 up for grabs thanks to Skypoynt. But Dave Douglas, your race winner here tonight. You done it. You done it quite convincingly. It was a good race brain. Any last words or shout out to your sponsors, mate? Good win tonight.
Yeah, just I guess, as I said, it was a good win, executed win. But for me, the driver of the day was Craig Roffey. So we discussed him and to try and work out how he got to where he was. And as I said, we thought he was not going to make it on fuel, but he somehow managed that and still managed to drag it home second. And it was very close at the end there. So feel sorry for Derek Jacobs though. He was in the fight that whole way with me and Skilly. So not sure exactly what went on, but shame for him. But as I said, driver of the day. Craig Roffey, so well done to him and his boys. But I guess we'll just shout out. Look, let's just shout out the league sponsors, which is obviously Skypoynt, LR Esports. There, I know there's probably more in there as well, but Skypoint, these guys are doing a good thing, and as I said, putting on some prizes, which is great to see in our sim racing community. So obviously shout out to Tom and his admin team, and obviously LR Esports for putting on the show.
Cheers, mate. Good win tonight, and I'm sure it's not going to be the last time that we're talking on the broadcast. And it's a shame to speak to Brett and Aiden as we did tonight. Aiden, how do you feel, mate? It was a throw under the bus moment, but first commentary gig for you in a little bit. You nailed it. You haven't lost it, mate.
I wouldn't say I nailed it, but from a race perspective, mate, is what it is. We have the nights that are good, we have the nights that are bad. So that one, no fault of my own, innocent bystander. We go on to next week. But I tell you what, the highlight of my night is jumping out and getting in the broadcast booth because, as you said, it has been a while. And once the guys got going, it was some great racing, and it was good to see Dave Douglas come home with another win here tonight. And of course, Craig Roffey in second and Michael Skurlock in third. Good to see Andy Barber coming in with a solid P4 as well. Coming in underprepared. He'll be happy with that one, lack of sleep. Obviously helping Tom with the league as well and everything going on. So good to see Andy come home there as well, and Derek Jacobs having a solid result as well. So, mate, it was great being in the broadcast booth. Dave Douglas was your winner tonight. We go on next week for the next round. I tell you what, the action's going to be thick and fast here on the LR Esports Network. So, Pete, thank you for letting me join in the broadcast booth, but I'll have to love and leave you for next week, mate. I'm going to be in the truck, and hopefully I can last a little bit longer.
Well, we go to Charlotte next week for the Skypoint NASCAR Truck E Series. Tonight with Michigan, Douglas, Roffey and Skurlock. Too good for the rest of your field. That was your podium. We spoke to them. And cheers to Aiden. Cheers to Brett as well. Both unfortunate DNFs for this round. They'll be back in the car for next round, fighting strong. But that was great. Michigan, done and dusted. Congratulations to the podium. Congratulations to everyone that competed. It's no easy feats. So Peter Gretton, Aidan Schultz and Brett Campbell was in commentary. Jai Schultz's birthday. Happy birthday again to Jai Schultz. Jai Schultz will be back next week. And that's it from Michigan. And we'll be back Chicago. Sorry, not Chicago. Charlotte next week. Have a good week. Cheers.